I'm here with outgoing Executive Director of the Agape Centre, Alyssa Blais. Thank you for joining me today, Alyssa.
Thank you.
All right, so you've announced that you're stepping down from the Agape Centre, but let's start at the beginning. We'll flash back 5 years ago when you first started, and what made you decide to apply for the job in the first place?
Wow, that was 5.5 years ago. I applied. I was working at the city in economic development, but before working for the city, I actually was an organic grower. So I really believed in the philosophy of feeding people well. And so when the opportunity at the Agape Centre came up, I jumped on it because I wanted to fuel that value that I have inside of me. And the first 3 months at the Agape was very challenging because I don't know if you remember, but our stove actually had a gas leak. And so we had to shut down for 2 days and we couldn't feed people. We had no way of feeding people. And that was my first taste of actually fundraising because the community came together and we raised almost $25,000 in 2 days to purchase some new equipment for the kitchen.
Absolutely. Now, anybody who's followed the Agape the last 5 years saw a transformation from the time that you started to now.
Thank you.
Did you have a plan going in of what you wanted to see happen, or was it kind of just
organic? The first 2 years, not really. The first 2 years was really about building the foundation at the Agape, rebuilding some of the the policies and the organization. And we had also an outgoing of the board too, 2 years in because they had finished their term. So that was a huge transition of change. And then during the third year, we started realizing, well, we need to do more and our building needed some updates. And so the last 3.5 years, we had a pretty strong plan moving forward to get us to where we are now.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the big changes the Agape saw was, of course, the Thrift Store. The complete transformation into the new for you. Let's talk about that. It's definitely one of your hallmarks.
Thank you. We actually received money from Ontario Trillium Foundation to do a rebrand of the store. And we wanted to update it, not only to make it look nice and so that people can shop and feel good, but we didn't have like a point of sale system, so we didn't know what was going out. And it was really remarkable when we were able to purchase all the equipment to make the store more efficient. We could see what people were buying because the store is for everybody. Anybody can shop in our store. And the money that we make in the store actually goes back into our service side. So it's important for people to know that it's just not for people in need. And at the end of this year, actually, of the building campaign, we have actually created a micro boutique in the basement. So that's where people in need go so they can shop privately. And then, and it's just more dignified. And that was, we actually did that at the last minute, and it's been a real godsend to have.
Absolutely. Now, another hallmark of your time has been the programs, public education. Let's talk about some of those.
We started a Curious Chefs program, and we also Around the Table program where we're teaching people some food literacy skills, cooking, especially for kids, and also we've implemented some gardening in with that, and we've used our local chefs. We are happy to announce that we will be continuing with Curious Chefs this summer, so yay, Agape! We were able to find some money for that program because we have a waiting list for that program. Anyone can go to the Curious Chefs program. It's actually cooking workshops for kids. And they learn how to make their own food. You know, we also incorporate some foods that maybe they would be too afraid or not to try. For example, like passion fruit or kiwi and that kind of thing. So we always have a little new food introduced as well. And they learn knife skills and just the basics of nutrition.
And why was it important to incorporate some of these programs in public education into what the Agape Centre does?
At the Agape, it's really important to not only feed people in need, but it's also important to teach people how to eat well. And food security or insecurity is really a big deal, not just for low-income people, but for people in general. We have an emotional attachment to food. And food can be quite a controversial issue. And we just wanted to expand our programs so that people can see that we're just more than a food bank and a community kitchen.
For sure. Now, one of the long-lasting marks that you'll leave with the Agape Centre is the building itself, the transformation of the building. Let's talk about that campaign that you oversaw.
So this building, I love this building now. I'm kind of sad to see to go because it's now what I consider almost perfect, because there is a phase 2 in mind for the building. But like an old car, it starts crumbling and you need to actually do something. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. And we were starting to get worried. I mean, our bathrooms and the flooring, and we had to do something drastic. And we also would have not had any more heat because our heating system was on its last legs. So it took us almost 2 years to really decide on what we wanted to do a feasibility study to see if the community would accept our building campaign, and then to start the construction, and then away we go. And it's just a nicer place. You know, it's cleaner, it smells better, the bathrooms are just efficient, and it's a safer place. We were able to also get money from a variety of sources, including, again, the Ontario Chilean Foundation for a new ramp. We worked with a brilliant company, Borgon Construction, and I'm very pleased with how it all came out. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, obviously during your time at the Agape Centre, you've had a chance to meet and work with a bunch of people. What are you going to take away from that? Let's talk about that.
The Agape Centre, for me personally and professionally, was the most enriching experience in terms of work and challenges and philosophies, and seeing how people really react to poverty in our community and in other communities outside. Poverty is a very contentious issue, an emotional one, and there's a lot of facets to it, and you can't solve it with just one kind of solution. So I'm going to take, I love the people I work with, I love the volunteers there, and obviously the people we serve. But in a crisis, it amazes me how this community helps out and comes together, and at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And that's what I'll take with me, is the privilege of having that that joy, you know, of people coming together.
Excellent. And just finally, Alyssa, I have to ask, just what's on the horizon? What's next for Alyssa Blais?
What's next for me right now? This summer, I'll be around in Cornwall. Some of you know I'm training for a triathlon. I'm very excited about that. It's my first kick at the can at that. And then in the fall, I plan on doing some traveling. And then we'll see. We'll see. The world is open, and I haven't made some definite plans yet. So.
Alyssa, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I've had the opportunity to work with you many times through my role at Cogeco TV and your role with the Agape Centre. On behalf of everyone here, we wish you all the best in the future, and thank you for everything you've done for the Agape and our community.
Well, thanks, Cogeco, too, for being a great supporter of the Agape Centre.
For Local Matters, I'm Gabriel Riviere-Reed.